It's been a lot of fun to watch how pants on head crazy many Liberal and NDP MPs have been willing to be in order to oppose parental rights legislation being passed all over Canada right now. The perfect example of this is NDP MP Randall Garrison, who I didn't even know was an MP, probably proves that Jagmeet Singh keeps him locked in his office all day most of the time, because he came out and said something skull crushingly stupid, which was that parental rights don't even exist. Only parental responsibility exists. Children's rights exist, but not parental rights. Just watch this clip. Thanks for Rebel News for clipping it. I'm kind of lazy to get my own clips.
Do you view this as a parental rights issue at all?
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, there's no such thing as parental rights. In Canada, there are parental responsibilities. And in Canadian family law, the primary responsibility of parents is to support and affirm their kids. Children have rights in Canada, and these kind of policies restrict the rights that children have in Canada.
This is absolutely insane for multiple reasons, which I will now break down. So, parents don't have rights, but children do. That obviously doesn't make sense because I guess, saying that, well, children have human rights, but the whole parental role does not have rights in and of itself. Yes, it does. You have the right to raise your child to be a happy, healthy, and responsible adult. Obviously, you don't have the right to raise your child to be a criminal or raise your child to do drugs or, put your child's health at safety, which is why premiers like Daniel Smith are trying to ban things like puberty blockers for minors underneath a certain age. But those are absolutely parental rights. Other adults do not get to raise your kids. The school system does not get to raise your kids, make major decisions for them. The government doesn't get to do that unless you are violating your child's rights. And yes, children do have rights. They have the rights that every other Canadian has to not be, physically harmed, free speech, all this other stuff. Parents get to mold and shape the way that their kid grows up because obviously they are the adult who must consent for certain things for their child. Doesn't mean a parent can consent for their 12-year-old to take puberty blockers because that's something that their child cannot consent to until they're an adult. You don't get to consent for your children to be smoking cigarettes. That's obviously ridiculous. Anyways, another point here is the way he even frames the idea that parents don't have rights, they have responsibilities. And in my mind, that's basically him saying, your children belong to the state. Because what he's saying is that you have responsibilities as if you're just a state employee. You don't have the right to make decisions. You just have the right to carry out a certain number of functions. And as soon as the state deems that you're not doing those functions, they get to step in and start dictating what your child can and cannot do and protect them from you. Obviously, he's being super vague because the left does not like to be hard and fast with what rules and standards they're enforcing because their rules and standards constantly change because their main motivation is just simply power. And the third thing I just wanted to bring up here was the idea that it's a parent's responsibility, their only responsibility is to support and affirm their child. No, it is not. It is not your responsibility to support and affirm your child to doing stupid things. It is your responsibility to get them to do their homework, make sure that they're eating healthy, make sure that they have good values and all this stuff. Do not harm your child. Do not give your child hormone blockers when they're 12 years old or different hormones and whatnot. That's all harming your kid. That would be violating their rights to do. But it's not a parent's responsibility just to be their kid's best friend and give them high fives regardless of what the kid does. Parents have a different role than the child is. Not the child's best friend. It is the child's parent. It is the parent's responsibility to help children make responsible choices. Responsible choices. So all those, frankly, mouth breathers out there who say, well, all these new parental rights legislations coming down across the country, they're actually restricting parents from having the decision-making power to give their kids puberty blockers. No. That's not a responsible decision. As an adult, you don't get to make irresponsible decisions for the child. You get to make responsible decisions. You get to choose what sport or what instrument to enroll them into, playing or practicing. You don't get to say that you're allowed to, again, smoke cigarettes, use drugs, or any of that stuff. Child Protective Services would get called very quickly. But don't tell this to Randall Garrison. He'd freak out at the entire concept of even having to make responsible choices because you're supposed to be there to tell your little Billy that he's doing a great job no matter what he does, that his gender confusion is fantastic and that we should put him on some sort of medical intervention system or whatever. Absolutely insane. Parental rights absolutely do exist, and people like Randall Garrison and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, he is a dangerous person. Never let this man have any power over making decisions on what parents can and cannot do. We will live in a far darker country. Anyways, that should be it for me today. I just want to quickly plug the fact that I, Wyatt Claypool, am running for the Calgary Signal Hill Conservative Party nomination. If you live in the west side of Calgary, check if you live in this riding. These are what the new boundaries will look like after April. Greenbrier and Bowness are being cut out, but Lincoln Park, the Mount Royal area are being added in. If you're in those areas, if you're in the riding boundaries, buy a membership, check out my website, WyattClaypool.com. I also have a legal fundraiser going for this lawsuit that myself and the National Telegraph are defending ourselves from. Just some big billionaire developer suing us for defamation. It's a slap suit. He's just trying to like rip money away from us through legal bills. We'll win this case. We'll likely get all of our money back, but giving any amount of money to us, $5, $10, anything more than that, it helps really lighten the burden on us. I've already paid $25,000 defending myself because Alberta does not have anti-slap law, so I've been having to fight this for years longer than I should have. But anyways, other than that, I'll see you guys in my future video, and tell me any other video topics you'd like me to talk on in the description below or the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, all those good things. See you guys later.